A warm stream runs down your face, flooding your eyes. You open them and realize this isn't tropical rain. This is your morning shower, straight from under a cow. Welcome to South Sudan, where for 300,000 people, dung and urine aren't filth. They're the only way to survive and stay clean. And here's what should grab you. Part of this genuinely worked, chemically. Not in one tribe, in 5, spread across 3 countries. Not for one reason, for 4 at once. Hair dye, antiseptic, cleaning agent, status. This is about the Mundari of South Sudan, an anthropologist named Evans-Pritchard, an entire cluster of Nilotic cultures from Uganda to Kenya, and a modern industry in India selling the same liquid in dollar bottles. The Mundari are a Nilotic people living along the Nile in South Sudan. Their economy runs on cattle. Wealth is counted in horns, not money. So every part of the cow gets used: dung, milk, urine. Each morning, children burn dung. The smoke drives off mosquitoes. The ash becomes toothpaste. Urine gets collected or taken directly. Men crouch beneath a urinating cow. Ammonia in the urine bleaches hair a reddish orange, a deliberate hairstyle, not a side effect. The same urine washes hands, faces, and teeth daily. This has been on record since 1940. British anthropologist Evans-Pritchard pitched his tent on the Sobat River in 1930, studying the Nuer, close relatives of the Mundari. He recorded them rubbing dung ash over their bodies, using it to dye and straighten hair, and turning it into mouthwash and tooth powder. Their urine went into cheesemaking, cleaning, and daily grooming. 10 years of fieldwork, one conclusion. This was a complete hygiene system, built on one animal. The Mundari and the Nuer aren't the only ones. The Karamojong of Uganda, the Toposa of South Sudan, and the Turkana of Kenya use cattle urine the same way, as a daily cleanser. All 5 groups descend from the same Nilotic ancestors, splitting around 1600 AD during a migration out of the Ethiopian highlands. For the Karamojong, nothing from the cow goes to waste. Hide becomes bedding, horns become containers, urine becomes soap. Herd size still determines who a man can marry, so urine here isn't filth. It's a resource, like every other part of the animal. Cow urine is roughly 95% water and 2% urea. Urea breaks down into ammonia, and ammonia does 2 specific things. First, it lifts the hair cuticle, the same mechanism as a bleaching agent. That's what explains the reddish color. Second, urine leaving a healthy body is nearly sterile, which is why it was used for centuries as a rough antiseptic. Roman launderers used aged, ammonia-rich urine to whiten fabric and teeth. Same principle, different continent. One claim didn't hold up: insect repellent. Some herders believed urine kept ticks away. Modern data on this is mixed at best. In Lucknow, India today, distilled cow urine ARC is sold in Ayurvedic pharmacies. Government-linked labs in Uttar Pradesh have produced 8 medicines from it, and there's a cow urine soft drink pitched as a Coca-Cola alternative. One multi-utility pill sells for about $1, claiming to treat everything from diabetes to piles. A Mayo Clinic physician stated flatly there's no data supporting a cancer-fighting effect from any animal's urine. Lab studies on the broader cow product mixture, Panchagavya, found real risks: bacterial contamination, poisoning at concentrated doses. The same liquid that dyes hair and disinfects skin in South Sudan is sold as a miracle cure 4,000 miles away. You spend $40 a month on shampoo, antiseptic wipes, and hair dye. 3 separate products, 3 separate industries. A Mundari herder gets 2 of those 3 from one cow, standing 3 feet away. We didn't outgrow the chemistry. We bottled it, branded it, and forgot which parts were ever real.